at another structure in Python called a function. Now, the main purpose of a function in terms of your program is to save longer pieces of code so that you can repeat it more times without having to retype the entire thing again. So, for this example, we're going to use a smaller function. The way that you define a function is by writing the word def and then the name that you want to call your function. So let's just say def even or odd with a pair of parentheses, and we'll also add a colon to the end of it. So this is how you define a function header. You write the word def, the name of the function, a pair of regular rounded parentheses, and a colon. Make sure that whenever you're working inside a function that there's an indentation to start. Alright, so now that that's out of the way, we're going to make this function to decide whether a number is even or odd. So to start, we're actually going to get something from the user called a parameter. And to make room for that in your function, you have to go inside this pair of parentheses and declare a variable up here. So let's call it number. Alright. So now down here, we're just going to write some code to decide whether this number that the user puts in is either even or odd. Alright. So let's write if number mod 2, because that is how we find out if a number is even or odd. Remember, the modulus operator gives you the remainder of the first number divided by the second. So if the remainder is equal to 0, remember we're using two equal signs to denote comparison, and then a colon at the end. If our number modulus 2 is equal to 0, meaning it has no remainder once divided by 2, meaning that it is even, we will print it is even. But else, meaning that if the number divided by 2 is not equal to 0, which means it can only be equal to 1, that means that it is odd. Alright, now if we run this, you'll find that nothing actually happens in the console. And that's because what we're doing here is just saving the code. We're not actually using it anywhere. So, we're going to go down here to line 48, and to call a function, we're just going to type the name of the function. So right here we're going to type even or odd. And then in parentheses, you're going to have the number that you're checking. So right now I'm going to check the number 82. And then if we run it, it should print it is even, or let's say we chose the number 83. We should get it is odd. Now, printing inside a function is not the easiest way to get the point across. The best practice to get something out of a function and return it to the main code of your program when called, that is a return statement. Now, I'm sure that explanation was confusing, but basically a return statement is just the word return. You don't have to have any parentheses near it. You just have to write the word return and then the value that you want to return. So it can be any data type, anything. So now if we run it, you're going to see nothing happens once again. That is because returning it is odd or it is even gives value to this call. So even though it's not being displayed out here in a print statement, this block now contains whichever value that even or odd has returned. Also, with return statements, once your return statement is used, that just quits the function immediately. So if I had a line of code down here that was like print, that was fun, and we run it. Oh, the way we print a function call with a return value is just by using the print function and surrounding the function call itself with the word print. Now if we try running it, you can see that we get it is odd, but it does not print that was fun. Even if we tried even, you'll see that we get it is even, but this print statement will never run. And that's because whenever there's a return statement, it doesn't matter where in the function it is. If there's a return statement, that just immediately ignores the rest of the code inside the function, and it immediately gives value to its function call. Now, the good thing about function calls is that they can be used many, many times. That's the point of functions. So now we're going to just do a bunch of random numbers over here, and check if they're even or odd. There. So that is a basic introduction to a function.